the Monica Brant Show. I'm your host, Monica, and I'm here with Dylan Jamili.
Great to be here. I cannot wait for this interview. I've been looking forward to it.
I know, right? We've got so many amazing interviews. Yesterday, this is day 2, by the way, of the Olympia Expo with the 60th anniversary right here, right now. That's so cool. And we have the fitness physician with us, Dr. Eric Fete.
Yep. Hi there.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate
Good
it.
to see you, man.
Yeah, nice to meet you both again.
It's awesome to have you here, too. Now, you're here with the Olympia University, right?
Correct. Yep.
I mean, I know you're not just here with just them, but you had a chance to speak yesterday or just today? Or
yeah, 2 talks yesterday and then another talk later today. Actually, I'm going to be upstairs on the stage, and then the other talk's at Olympia University this afternoon.
So you're not talked out?
No, I'm a little dry throat. It's all good.
Right?
Like you.
Awesome. Okay, so you have some specialties, right, Dylan? And what specialties we got here?
Yeah.
I mean, the fitness physician, you must have a
You
lot
do
of
it all.
specialties.
Yeah, so I started out, I've been an athlete most of my life, but I was a ER doctor for many, many years, so I saw people kind of at their worst, right? And I started seeing these young people that, with these diseases and on 20 different medications and overweight and in their 30s. I'm thinking there's got to be a way to fix it. So I got into the preventive health side, and I really started out more in the cosmetic side of things, doing a lot of things with stem cells, regenerative medicine. Then I got into hormone optimization, and then I got into peptides, and then it just kind of morphed from there. I started learning about functional medicine, anti-aging longevity strategies. So now I kind of bundle it all together, what I call health and performance optimization, just a super simple way to, and specifically what I call muscle medicine and cellular medicine.
And cellular medicine.
There's not a lot of doctors out there talking about the importance of muscle. I mean, here at the Olympia, right? But we talk about muscle, but more not really for the looks, but really for it's the organ of longevity. A lot of people don't realize muscle is an endocrine organ and secretes a lot of substances that actually promote health and longevity. So it's the organ of longevity. There's not a lot of docs talking about that, so I try to promote that, and I just call it, that's why I just came up with muscle medicine. Everybody understands that, right? So
Yes, 100%. What I love about you, my life has been difficult because I'm in this influencer category, right? And I don't hate it, but I don't love it. The name, you know what I mean?
Because an influencer.
Well, it puts stigma on your knowledge, and what you do for somebody like me, because all I have to talk to are influencers that think they know everything and don't really know a whole lot, right?
There's a lot of noise out there.
People like yourself, like Jay yesterday, Jay Campbell, you guys it's a breath of fresh air because we don't have a lot of people to talk to about it that really know.
Right.
And so
that makes sense. I really know.
Well, yeah, and so let me ask you 2 questions. How do you get around stigmas that go around certain research chemicals like peptides? How do you get around that? What do you do to combat it? And what made your intrigue go that route? Because you've kind of gone boom, 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 boom.
Right.
How did you come to that?
Yeah, so got into the world of peptides really just by association of it's hormones and then peptides and all these chemicals, really getting into the biochemistry of the cell. Let's break it down to the level instead of just like in ER world, or traditional medicine slapping a Band-Aid on things with, here, take this drug, do this surgery, what's causing this? And you go down all the way to the cellular level, kind of geek out a little bit on the mitochondria of the cells, what is going on here? So you kind of get into the biochemistry, and these peptides, these natural molecules can influence the body at the cellular level. So it's what's the problem? Kind of like if your house smells, instead of spraying freshener, let's rip the carpet up. Oh shit, there's mold in there. Let's fix the mold. So same thing. A lot of people have insulin resistance, they have inflammation, they have all these processes. Instead of just taking a pill or taking their Pepcid so they can keep eating their shitty food, let's fix the problem, right?
Right.
And then you don't have to do all this stuff. So that's how I kind of got into peptides, because peptides, a lot of the stigma that people don't realize, a lot of peptides are natural, kind of like hormones, right?
Yes.
They're bad. No, you make them in your body. Hormones, we make testosterone, insulin, cortisol. We make, everybody's talking about Ozempics, right? The semaglutide. Well, it's a GLP. Well, we make GLP in our body.
Exactly.
It's a natural. Obviously we're manipulating that a little bit, but a lot of these peptides are natural, so we're augmenting those natural processes. Typically, especially as a physician, I get all my peptides through a pharmacy. That way I know they're approved, they're certified. You're mentioning there's a lot of clinical other places like Jay's company or other companies that aren't pharmacies, but they still make them, but they do their best to make themselves as certified and approved, as possible. And I think there's a lot of good ones out there.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of bad ones.
Exactly.
Just like with everything, right? Kind of like talking about your influencers. There's some people who do a great job, and like you and other people, Jay, but other people not so much. They're just kind of talking out their butt, and they don't know what they're talking about. And that's what drives me nuts. I'm got to be careful, who you're listening to, because this is your body. If you're going to put something in your body or manipulate your health, work with someone who knows what they're doing at least,
Right.
So that's my thing.
So let me ask you this, a different question. You can be kind of looked at like public enemy number one when you start coming out with alternatives that
Right.
people don't want you to know. Do you ever find yourself in a situation where you can't say what you want to say, or you got to be careful, and how do you get around that?
Yeah, it's a big question. Yeah, the whole yeah.
I think we know where we're going with this.
Yeah.
We all three
medical censorship is real, right? And I deal with this every day. It's like a lot of it boils down to economics and politics, right?
100%.
So yeah, there's a lot of things, and there's a lot of things I said, some of my colleagues said, or especially 3-4 years ago, where oh, you can't say that. Why? It's true. It's like you're the whole alternative space. I was talking about this yesterday at the talk. It's like, this is the real medicine. The traditional medical world of synthetic drugs and certain, that's the alternative medicine. I mean, 100, 200 years ago, that's what we did, right?
Exactly.
Pharmacists, doctors, we use compounds shocking from plants.
Yes.
We talked about diet and sleep and exercise, and all these, some of the medicines that came out were all natural compounds. Herbalists, homeopathy, traditional medicine. That was the real medicine for hundreds of years.
Right.
This new stuff is kind of the alternative. But again, kind of like, it's been propagandized as like, oh, that's alternative. Let's just try to discredit it, kind of like conspiracy theory, right?
Right.
Well, that was made up, right, to discredit the people that are questioning the system, right?
Just like you can change the definition of recession if you want to, right?
Right.
Just by going like a snap of a fingers.
There's a lot of propaganda and censorship, unfortunately. So I try to get around it by speaking to it as indirectly as possible. Sometimes I kind of come out and just say stuff. I'm like, well, if they censor it, they censor it. But hopefully it'll get out there. So there's ways around it, but
people want people that want to hear that, they're going to find and search you out, right?
Yes,
they're
absolutely.
Going to want to hear the truth.
Yeah, I'm finding more and more people.
We always had to say lab rat, right? On my videos, like early on or something like that, because you can't say that you're using it.
Right.
So you had to be careful or they'd kick you off.
Right. I heard about. I have a friend that.
So what do you personally do for yourself to maintain with all the information that you know? Like, what are your favorite things for yourself personally or is it go month to month depending on your
it's oh my gosh.
I mean, for instance, I had a guy who's in the medical field, not like this, but he runs medical and then facilities, and he has concierge now, businesses, and he sent me a list of 34 pills that he takes a day, and I'm like, right? Like, and he's like, how do I get out of this?
It's hard.
Of 34 pills a day. And so, like, what do you do for yourself? Like, what are your main things that you do for yourself, whether they cost something or they're they're free, like sunlight, grounding?
Right.
Like, what are the things that you do for yourself?
Yeah, and I totally resonate with that, because my wife teases me all the time. She says, well, your pharmacy shop in here, I open my cabinets and I've got like three cabinets full of supplements. I'm like, I'm not taking all of them all the time, right? But I do try stuff, right? If I'm going to try something before I recommend it to my patients. But so with my clients and even myself, I try to start with the free stuff, right?
The free sun
and I'm big on I mentioned yesterday, like the duality of medicine, right? It's like technology is great. There's all this cool new stuff, but it can be a dangerous thing if you rely on it too much. So the duality is kind of going back to nature. I'm big on natural health, right? So, and a lot of my people can't spend thousands of dollars on peptides. So I'm like, let's start with the free stuff. Like you said, like none of us goes out in the forest and gets the trees and the woods, gets their feet in the grass, gets their sun on their face every single day. Get up at the same time, go to bed at the same time, get the sun on your face, walk every day, do bursts of activity, eat real food. Right. Everybody's like, oh yeah, I know that, but you don't do it. So start with that, and then get your routine in place. In terms of what I do, that's what I do every day. I try to get up, get outside, move every day, do some meditation or some standing meditation, like a qigong exercise or something. Do a brief cardio workout, get my coffee or whatever, and then eat, and then get on with my day. That's my kind of my quick morning routine. I do a little bit more than that, like journaling and stuff like that. But for me, I just try to I'm a simple guy. I try to keep it as simple as possible. So yes, I recommend hormone optimization. As we get older, we all lose our hormones, and there's no way around that. We're going to have to confront with that. In terms of supplements and peptides, there's a million things you can take, but I always start with the basics, right? I mean, pretty much everybody, unless you're out here in Vegas and you're in the sun, you need vitamin D, vitamin K. You need magnesium, things like that. And then the hormone optimization. But I think in terms of supplements and peptides, I like to keep things consistent but rotate, right? Like you said, there's a million things you can take, but you don't have to take them all the time. Yeah. Like if you're on something to support growth hormone optimization, you could do that. Take a break every few months. If you're on a GLP, do that for a few months, take a break for a month. And then maybe once or twice a year, I'll do a kind of a reset for their body. Like I will put them on a protocol where they're dialing back their training. They're going to do more autophagy, cleaning up your cells. So I might put them on like a thymosin peptide, do a little bit more aggressive with a supplement like spermidine, and maybe do something like Pinolon, something for your circadian reset.
Yep.
Or a low-dose sirolimus, which is like a rapamycin. You can do that all year round, but like maybe more aggressively every couple months just to kind of clean up the system, and then reboot. It's kind of like goes back to like, what you guys are probably, in terms of like diet and exercise, carb cycling or fasting, like you fast or you lower it, and then you need to slam the carbs the next day. Your body's hungry for that. So same thing, you redial your system. You don't want to be taking all these medications all the time, except for hormones. You're going to need those 24/7 once you're deficient. But peptide supplements, you could rotate things in and out, except for some of the things that we all need, like magnesium, vitamin D, vitamin K. We just don't get enough of it. Unfortunately, we live in a very toxic world. Crap's taken out of our food. Shit in our food. Soil's depleted. There's glyphosate everywhere.
What do you find that you prescribe the most peptide-wise? Like ipamorelin and CJC 1295 seem to be used constantly.
Yes.
And they obviously they mesh well together.
They do.
What do you find that most people are needing and or wanting?
Yeah. So most of my people are 40s, 50, middle age and up. So they're getting a lot. I have a lot of athletes, too, that are lifting or CrossFit or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. A lot of joint pain, a lot of aches and pains, as we all notice. So, two of my, for a while there, I used a ton of CJC, ipamorelin, and BPC. They are great. They work well together because they synergize. BPC upregulates that receptor for it, and there's so many, they work very well. And, of course, we all know about the FDA trying to get rid of CJC a few months ago because, we don't want people healthy.
Right.
No.
Right.
But I think
even just like them trying to get rid of NAC.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
BPC is everybody's favorite.
It's everybody's favorite.
Everybody's favorite.
So, but I think I've heard that I think we might be able to get CDC again, but there's alternatives, right? There's some oralins, there's growth hormone, there's different things. So those were two of my big ones I used a ton of, but I'm big on, as we get older, we lose what's called immunometabolism. Our immune system is crucial for health and aging, as is our gut. We're learning more about our gut microbiome every day. So taking care of your immune system, and that's where the immune thymic peptides come in, like thymosin alpha, thymosin beta, to support your immune, because we lose our thymus gland. As we get older, it just shrinks and it goes away. And we need that. And then gut health is huge. And we're learning more every day what we don't know. So I see so many people with gut issues from all this crap on our food, these long haul COVID, vaccine injuries. So I'm using a lot of things like BPC, lorazepam to heal your gut, to tighten up those junctions, so you can heal. And a lot of these autoimmune conditions, these inflammatory conditions, a lot of things you don't think of with your gut are tied to your gut health. So I use a lot of those. And then we talked a little bit about the GLP-1s, and I think those are a very cool product. They're way overhyped and overused for the wrong reasons.
I agree.
But if you microdose it, and I'm sure my colleague talked about this yesterday, but microdosing, it's a great anti-aging medicine. It's great. It has a lot of benefits on the brain, the bone, the heart, the liver, so many things it does to keep you young. And not really for weight loss dosing, but it's a side effect of it, right?
Yeah.
But it's a pretty cool little anti-aging molecule, right, that it can do, that can help you.
What kind of price range are we talking on a low scale monthly versus a high scale for someone starting off with peptides?
With peptides, it's a great question, and it kind of depends. You could spend as little as maybe $100 to $200.
That's kind of like minimum.
Yeah.
So you can't get out of it like for less.
Right. It's hard. They are expensive. I think over time they'll get a little better. After talking to a few people that I know, I think the market's going to be shifting. I think there's going to be some things happening, but they are a little expensive. But yeah, you're going to drop at least a few $100 a month, if not more. I have some patients on one. I have some on like 5.
I was going to say you could be in the thousands a month all day long.
Yeah, my gosh,
all
easy.
Day.
So I'm curious on, and then we probably need to be wrapping up because I know everyone's got stuff to do, but peptides versus hormone, like a growth hormone. How do those compare at all? Because I know with growth hormone, there's supposed to be a lot of anti-aging and wonderful effects from that. And in this industry, that's what we've been hearing about forever, right?
Right.
It's like another car payment, though, to do growth hormone. Seriously.
Well, I don't know.
It's
Not
so expensive.
Not just talking about financially, but like internally, are they completely separate, different? Would you stack those, or could you just do peptides and not even ever thinking about growth hormone?
You could. There's pros and cons. So growth hormone, of course, has been around forever. And I think, like everything, sometimes it gets misused. That's where you hear about the side effects, right? But if you're doing lower doses on a regular basis, it can be very, very good. The problem is getting it or paying for it.
Yeah.
That's the hard part. So I haven't used a lot just for that. A lot of my patients can't afford it or get it. So I've used a ton of the growth hormone peptides as an alternative because it's some studies, like one of my mentors, Dr. C's, will talk about how you stimulate your own growth hormone production with the peptides, whereas the growth hormone, it's supposed to be just like ours, but some studies will indicate that it's a little bit, not all of the there's a million different amino acid chains.
Yes.
So it could be a little bit different, like artificial. So by using the peptides, you stimulate your body to make more of its own growth hormone in a natural fashion. So it's a little more natural and it works better, cleaner, less side effects, which...
That's what I've been doing. How do you feel about side effects?
So less side effects.
It's like a GHRP2 compared to HGH, for example. I mean, it's kind of night and day on the possibility side effects. Yeah.
So if you're doing like a CDC ipamorelin combo or Sermorelin or Tesamorelin, the side effects are pretty easily to control.
Yeah.
And again, I will rotate them. But I'm doing like Monday through Friday, take the weekends off, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe do it for 3-6 months, take a month off. Mostly pretty well tolerated. But the problem is some people do get tachyphylaxis, meaning their body adapts to it, and you got to take a break.
Right.
Go off for a month or two. Whereas
100%.
growth hormone, especially if you're on a lower dose, you tend not to get that.
Right.
But the problem is, again, can you get it? And for a while there, it's gotten a little bit better, but for a while, especially as a physician, they're really under scrutiny. Like, oh, you're prescribing growth hormone. Oh, the medical board's knocking. Whoa, what are you doing this for? What's the reason? I'm like, come on, guys.
Don't you feel like HGH itself is more easily abused than peptides? Because everybody thinks it can turn you into a mass monster, which is really not what it's intended for.
Well, it's just like even like testosterone, like anything. Unfortunately, here in America, like a little bit something good, more is better, right?
Right.
Like, no, it's not. It's not.
More is always better.
And that's when you get the side effects. Yes. People are thinking, oh, instead of like a 1 unit of growth hormone, let's do 10. Yeah. Right. Like, no.
Well, more food is not always better. More aspirin is not always better. So,
like, even like working out. I can work out every single day. No. No.
You need a break.
Yeah, take a break.
So where do people find you, and where's your practice?
Awesome. So I'm in Ohio right now. I do all telemedicine. I've got patients all across the country. I've even done some consultations like in Europe, like people from UK and Dubai. And
awesome.
People call me up for telemed. It's all telemed. So Dr. Eric Primex is my website. On social media, a lot of people find me that way, Dr. Eric Fete.
Quick question, because I know we've got Rick Collins coming in later to talk.
Yeah, I love Rick.
He mentioned something about the FDA and potentially with the HRT, telemed, and they might be trying to come in and do something with that. He wants to talk about that specific.
Yeah.
So
yes.
That's so sad if they come in and try to take that away.
But of course.
I know.
Anything great.
Anything good. I'm curious to see, and I know Rick, and I'm going to talk to him offline about it too. I think they're talking about changes in December. I don't know if it's going to get pushed back or modified. There's always ways around it. I mean, it'll almost go back to the days before pre-COVID when, like, I'd have patients out of state. Like my colleagues would say, well, just come in and fly in and see me once, and then we're good.
Yeah.
Now are they going to require in person every month, every year? Who knows?
But they put stuff on the table a lot and then don't even. There's so much other garbage going on that they forget. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they do it for looks half the time, so that it looks like they're doing something when they're not.
Well, and we all know, big pharma owns everything, right? Politics and economics. Like you said, heaven forbid, we don't want people to be healthy. Let's keep them eating their crappy food and taking their Prozac, right?
Crappy food.
Drives me nuts. I could go off on that for an hour. But
me too.
What do you do for athletics? Like, aside from all the supplement, peptides, and everything, what do you do for your own training and staying fit?
Like me personally?
Staying strong.
Yeah, so I'm a minimalist. So I just have I work out in my basement at home. So I have everything I need, squat rack, barbells. I love kettlebells. So I get up, usually do like a short cardio session in the morning, and in the afternoon I'll do a training session. Right now I'm just doing an upper-lower split, and then I take Wednesdays off and walk. But I try to walk. I'm a big proponent of NEAT. Just walking every day or exercise snacks, right? Every couple times a day, just do like a minute of work, But that's my thing. So,
I love it.
Yeah, keep it simple.
Awesome.
Keep it simple.
All right,
that's
when are you speaking again today?
Upstairs on the stage at noon, and then at the Olympia University, I think HRT, TRT at 2 o'clock.
At 2 o'clock.
Yeah, you're at 1, right?
I'm at 1, but we're both at noon.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Oh, cool. I'll see you up there then.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here with us on the
Absolutely.
Monica Brant Show. You guys make sure you find Dr. Eric Fete, F-E-T-E.
Yep.
Who likes the feet?
Dr. Fate, yep.
Walking.
Thank you. Everybody says feet. I'm like, it's fate, but it's all right. Nobody gets it right. It's all good. Thank you.
Oh, how do you say it?
Fate.
Fate.
Yep, like an A.
Fate. I like that.
All good.
I like that.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining here at the Monica Brant Show. We will be back with more, so don't go anywhere.
StemRegen is professionally formulated for athletes for enhanced recovery, improved microcirculation, and smart cellular signaling. I attribute being an athlete to all of the years of this incredible journey I've had in the health and fitness industry. I'm Monica Brant, 30-year health educator and encourager. Having added StemRegen into my program for the last year, I've been able to maintain the level of intense exercise that I demand on myself. Thanks to StemRegen, I am unleashing my regenerative potential.